My name is Will Hollingsworth. In my last job, I was the digital artist feeding Midjourney prompts to create the perfect commercial, training the very machine that would eventually replace me. 3 months later, they would lay me off. I didn't just watch it happen, I was holding the tools when the tools were turned on me. I don't stand here as an enemy of progress. When I look at the data center proposal, I don't see progress. I see a gamble where the big tech companies get the gold while Portage County foots the bill. There are people in our community, informed, honest people, who will tell you that the modern data centers use what's called a closed loop system. They say the water is filled once and recycled forever. In a laboratory, that might be true, but we aren't living in a laboratory. We're living in Ohio. I can tell you that as the chips get smaller and AI demands get larger, the heat these machines generate is outstripping the closed loop theory. To keep the servers from melting, a data center has to bleed the lines to remove toxic sludge, aka forever chemicals, and bleeding water needs to be evaporated. It does not stay in the loop. The very place that laid me off was an organic mattress company, and while working for them, I actually learned a lot about forever chemicals. I saw the inside of those so-called regulations. I saw how rigorous studies are often self-funded, a pay-to-play model where if you've got the cash, they'll give you the certificate. If $1 trillion company is funding the study that says their forever chemical won't hit our water table, they aren't giving us the science, they're giving us a sales pitch. We're told that if we don't say yes, we're driving away the future, but that's a false choice. A big employer who uses the water of 50,000 people only hires about 10 people is not an employer. They are an extraction. We are being asked to fund a 21st century luxury with a 19th century resource heist. We are being asked to sacrifice the lifeblood of our city so $1 trillion company can save a fraction of a cent on its margins. We are being asked to drain our reservoirs so a chatbot can write a poem or so our sheriff can generate a picture of himself standing next to Bigfoot. They want us to trust $1 trillion industry that tells us with a straight face that they can suck 5 million gallons of water out of our ground a day, use it as a liquid heat sink, and return it to our rivers without a single consequence. They are asking for a measured approach while they hide their actual usage behind secret contracts and NDAs. We know what happens when massive utility interests and black box energy deals gets fast-tracked behind closed doors. We're still paying the bill, literally, for the first energy scandal. We were told these bailouts were essential and measured too, and it turned out to be the largest racketeering plot in the history of our state. So when $1 trillion company asks for our water, our electricity, and our silence, we shouldn't just be asking for the facts. We should be asking who is really getting the kickback, and why is it our reservoir that's on the line? There is a reason the Ohio House just voted 88-0 to pause and study this industry. It wasn't an act of cynicism, it was an act of stewardship. We cannot let these ghost towns move in before we understand the damage they do to our grid and our water table. I am not a cynic when it comes to technology. I am a believer in community. I believe that a drop of clean water for a Ravenna child is worth more than 1 billion AI-generated images.
So somebody's definitely going to burn that data center down in Utah. Y'all do realize that, right? Somebody is definitely going to burn that data center down to the ground before it's even built. And to be clear, that's not a threat. It's a directive that I'm pretty sure is going to happen. Because we're talking about a data center that was approved over the objection of pretty much the entire community. A very loud objection of the community, that I might add.
False! All of this is false!
All to curry the favor of a billionaire that doesn't even live in their community. And that billionaire is a part of the 1% community in America that has been making the working class's life a living hell. People need to understand that these big AI data centers are destroying the economy. But if you're someone who refuses to stop using big AI, then at least switch to a better eco-friendly alternative like EcoGPT. It uses 10 times less water, it's 10 times more energy efficient, and it plants a tree for every 100 prompts. So if you want to make a change, then that's one small, easy change that you can make today that takes 1 minute to download in the App Store and delete ChatGPT.
If you're wondering why your electric bill's going up, here's why. Yeah, data centers.
We're in a friggin' drought and you're not gonna ban data centers? New Jersey is in a drought and some parts are in a severe section. You know what else us New Jerseyans are dealing with? An uptick in data centers. In case you don't know, data centers use water and in a lot of cases clean drinking water for some evil villain reason to cool themselves down. And our governor, Mikey Sherrill, puts this message out about how we need to use less water. Which, of course, everyone pitch in. I recycle my cans with the best of them. But hey, Mikey, you maybe want to take care of the giant computers using all the drinking water first. Across the country, people have been fighting back against data centers, New Jersey included. Not only do they cause energy costs to skyrocket, ours went up 20% because of data centers, but yeah, it's a little rich to be told I gotta shower less when the thing's pumping out this slop apparently needs our H2O. I am so sick of this personal responsibility bullshit. Sure, we can all use less water, but my long showers aren't causing the climate crisis. Look at this hair. She needs it. It's the oil companies drilling. It's billionaires with their stupid private jets. It's the AI data centers. Stop blaming me and do something about it, people in charge.
You ever notice they never build data centers where rich people live? And that should tell you everything that you need to know. Because if data centers were so amazing and quiet and safe for the environment, rich people would be fighting to get them in their neighborhoods. But they're not. Now, America already had about 4,000 data centers. And at the end of 2025, they were already either planning, in the process of constructing an additional 3,000 data centers. But funny how they're not popping up next to gated communities, golf courses, waterfront mansions. No, they show up near regular people. Because see, data centers bring noise. They use massive amounts of water. And they drive up electricity costs. And so while they're building all these data centers in your backyard, they're also replacing jobs with automation powered by those data centers. So the next time a local official comes to you talking about a data center, ask them one simple question. If it's so great, why aren't rich people volunteering for it to be next to them?
You can't drink data, you can't eat data. So we're comparing this to, oh, well, here's the water usage we used on a farm. Well, the farm supplied food for us. It might be a luxury. It might be the trend of right now, but it's not necessary compared to clean air, clean water, available water. We have been giving real data from across the country and really across the world showing that these types of things, power plants and data centers this close to people, are just extremely unsafe. With me specifically, I have 4 young children and they're all under the age of 9 years old. And those populations are most impacted by the sound and the pollution and the things being put in the water. Why is it consistently Arizona's problem? Why are we putting them where we continue to have failing air pollution, where we continue to have no water? I'm so disappointed by the decision made by the county supervisors. For the supervisors to completely negate what this decision does to the community and only talk about the base and only talk about the finances and the things that don't matter to us personally and that matter to the people voting on this project. It's just devastating.
What if I told you this random construction site could actually sway the midterm elections? It's going to be an AI data center, one of many powering the AI boom across the country. In Michigan alone, there are more than a dozen of them currently planned. These are multi-billion-dollar projects coming to rural towns across the state, but just one of them has started construction.
We're going to go to Saline Township, which is a tiny little community in southeast Michigan with this data center coming in. It's really hard to understand the scale of these data centers until you actually have to drive past it. I mean, it's many, many, many football fields.
This thing is going to totally change the character of the landscape of the township. In terms of size, it's 250 acres, and it's being built for tech giant Oracle. In terms of how much power it needs, it's enough to power 1 million homes. And people here are really upset.
It is our land, it's our water, it's our power.
They can't even turn the damn lights off at night. I mean, give me a break.
I don't know why you're not more angry at them. I don't get why your loyalty is to them and not us.
I know that there's some trust that's broken. I think that we could help to rebuild that. We do have your best interest in mind.
The company's developer says that this is going to be good for the town. It's going to be environmentally friendly, bring jobs, it's going to bring money into the school system. But a lot of the residents don't believe that. And the reason is that the deals around these data centers have been very secretive. The projects themselves don't have names that scream data center. They're named things like Project Cannoli and Project Cherry Blossom. And in Saline Township's case, it was Project Mitten. And contracts related to how the data center is going to get its power have been heavily redacted. Even the signatures are blacked out. Oracle says that they're protecting competitive information and that their developer has met repeatedly with residents.
The residents feel like they're being bulldozed and overrun. I see both sides just not listening to the little people. It just feels like there's really nobody rooting for us.
I'm confused. For this next election cycle, I really don't know where I will put my alliances.
This is a new force in our political landscape, and it's just this live wire that we don't quite know what effect it's going to have. This is something that's happening all over the country. But in Michigan, it's particularly important because in these midterm elections in November, Michigan is a critical battleground state. But the Democratic and Republican parties haven't really caught on yet. It's sort of like the political equivalent of the proverbial $100 bill lying on a sidewalk. And we don't know which party's going to pick it up.
I hardly ever do any political shit, but this isn't political. This is my environment and my world and my state and my city. Fuck this data center they're trying to put on the Great Salt Lake. We're already getting one down on central Utah by Delta, which is whatever, it's happening. But this one on the Great Salt Lake is bullshit. It's going to be bigger than the city of Manhattan. That's how big it is. Bigger than Salt Lake City, and it's going to use more power than their entire state. How is this not going to fuck up everything in the whole Utah, and even the West, and ruin the Great Basin, all of it, let alone the pavement that's going to take? But we're going to run off natural gas. And I just say, fuck this shit, guys. Fuck it. All this is, too, is surveillancing you. That's why they want these data centers, is to make it easier to surveillance us. And they're going to do it. They will. They're passing laws right now. They're trying to pass them so when you get in a new car, they can look at your face and see if you're okay to drive. What else is that going to track on you? Everything. It's everything. They're going to follow this shit out of us. So, fuck this thing.
For hell's sakes, grow up.
These residents are outraged after a Utah County approved billionaire Kevin O'Leary's 40,000-acre AI data center, the size of 3 Manhattans. That's because they were only given 1 week's notice about a project expected to consume 9 gigawatts of power, more than double the entire state uses right now. And residents are the ones who usually pay the price through higher utility bills, health issues from environmental pollution, and potential water depletion. The ones who really benefit are billionaires like Kevin O'Leary. Already, most of the economic value created by AI has gone to big tech and investors, not workers. In 2025, CEO pay grew 20 times faster than worker pay. AI is supercharging that. And guess who's giving AI giants the green light to build? Trump, by bypassing safety and environmental regulations, fast-tracking permitting, and making it harder for local communities to push back. This isn't left versus right. It's up versus down. It's time for working people to come together to fight against those in power, exploiting, harming, and dividing us for profit.
AI data centers are popping up pretty much everywhere. Most of the time, they're in poor minority communities.
AI, Elon Musk company, is operating 35 gas turbines in Southwest Memphis, in the neighborhood where myself and my entire family lives. This is horrific news. They are increasing the amount of nitrogen dioxide, which causes smog and continues to harm people with asthma by potentially 30 to 60%.
So let's be clear. That is a gross structural racial injustice. That is crazy for that to happen. The companies building data centers are the richest companies in the world. There is no way it's fair for anyone's electricity prices to go up because they come into a neighborhood. If you look at the history of pollution and toxicity in California and the United States, there's gigantic structural racism. They have always put the dirtiest roads, the dirtiest plants, all of the dirtiest manufacturing and industrial places in low-income Black and brown communities. I remember going to Fresno 10 years ago. A poor part of Fresno, 2 miles away from a well-to-do part of Fresno, had a 22-year lower life expectancy. And that's why when I talk about climate or the environment, I have a very straightforward plan of how to solve it. There are only 4 rules, and one of the rules is everything has to include environmental justice at the get-go.
I have an idea that's going to blow your mind. If you are against data centers, maybe stop using AI. Stop using ChatGPT. Stop using AI resources that are going to benefit them to think that we want these data centers. That is just something that I really cannot wrap my head around. Here in Scranton, PA, there's a town nearby that is literally being threatened with multiple massive data centers. They already cleared out the woods, like a lot of woodland area, and poor wildlife have lost their homes because of these data centers. And it's also going to affect the water cycle here as well. Like, just know, if you're someone that's saying you're against these data centers, by you using AI consistently, you are contributing to the problem. Do better.
I love how our city is just so focused on building absolute bullshit. We will get new stadiums, we will get new venues, we'll get fucking billions of dollars of data centers built in just the middle of buttfuck nowhere in Northeast Ohio. But God forbid we put the taxpayer dollars into making East Cleveland livable. God forbid we put the tax dollars into making downtown Cleveland a fucking drivable place where you don't gotta worry about your tires popping out because there's potholes on every goddamn corner. What are we doing here, Cleveland? What are we actually fucking doing? You are just going to gentrify and pollute the city way more than it already is. This is a project that could consume enough power for more than 100,000 homes. But you know what this is also going to do for more than 100,000 homes? Raise electrical prices. This is also going to pollute our waters. This is going to pollute Lake Erie. This is going to pollute our rivers and our lakes and our beautiful metro parks. Every fucking body of water that we have in Northeast Ohio is going to be dried clean, dude. Where are they building it? Right in the middle of housing development off East 55th Street. So not only is, like I said, going to raise electrical prices for people, but at the same time, it's going to raise the taxpayer cost. And this is going to push people out of this area. People who have lived here for their entire lifetimes. People who have lived here for decades upon decades. And what's going to happen after that? The rich is going to be buying up the land. Then the rich is going to absolutely turn the development into whatever the fuck they want and start building bullshit all around the area. It's just going to be colonizing all over again. What the fuck are we doing, Ohio? Like, seriously, what is wrong with this fucking state? What is wrong with the city of Cleveland? Why are we worrying about this bullshit instead of making the city a more livable area?
Good evening, Marion County, and tonight we're going to talk about possible data center in Whitehall and why it's bad and who you need to contact to stop it, because it's no one in Marion County. Just so you're aware, you need to contact the Secretary of Department of Commerce. That's state of West Virginia. Because as you can see right here, local control, as in Marion County, has been stripped under 2025-2026 rules. Now, before you ask why I have the authority to tell you the things I'm about to tell you and why it's bad for our community, this is a picture of me in Prometheus 1 in St. Albans, Ohio. It's the world's largest 1 gigabyte data center in the world. This is another one of me at 5:57 a.m. in the morning, using over 500 gallons per line of highly toxic, highly concentrated citric acid to flush their stainless steel glycol pipes, which are used to cool the towers. A 277-acre project would have so many lines, it's hard to explain. Now imagine 500 gallons per line of highly toxic acid all dumped into our local rivers and streams. All done by way of going down your sewer drain. Let's not forget that our infrastructure in this area does not have what it needs to power this site, so it would be electric and gas. So now we're talking about Mon Power and Hope Gas. Now, there's my ID badge if you want to scan the QR code and make sure I'm telling the truth about working at that data center. Now let's get back to it. The problem with what's going to happen is they're going to have to upgrade electrical infrastructure, which they're going to put that cost on the customer, us, our local residents and surrounding residents. They're then going to give an incentive for them to actually build it here, which requires them getting a discount of electric, which then goes on us, the residents. That incentive break lasts anywhere from 5 to 10 years. Now, obviously, Hope Gas is going to do the same thing because they're going to have to now deliver a gas pipeline for hybrid natural gas and electric motors to take care of that stuff. Where do you think that cost is going to go? On us, the residents. Now, as for jobs, that'll be all third-party construction and vendors. Those individuals will mostly not be from West Virginia. They will be from out of state. That I can promise you because I've seen it firsthand. Now, when the site's done and up and running, there will probably be 15 to 20 employees to maintain that entire site. That's it. IT guys, maintenance guys, janitorial guys, security, groundskeepers, someone to mow the grass and take care outside. When this is what our electrical infrastructure looks like in Marion County right here, down the entire roads, crooked, bent, old, wires hanging all over the place. The last thing we need is a data center. It's not common sense.
This is going to be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. They don't actually need 40,000 square acre data centers for AI. And this whole lie that they're telling us that this is just to keep us competitive with China. And we know this for a fact because Anthropic's most advanced model, Claude 4.6 code, leaked out onto the internet. The actual code leaked onto the internet, and guys were able to take that code and put it out there for everybody to use. Open source. They even changed the code so that they couldn't get sued. And it is open source. And you can run that code. Anthropic's most advanced code can be run on your laptop, can be run on a Mac Mini. So why do they need these massive water and electrical guzzling data centers? It's not because they're running AI on them. It's because they're collecting information. All these flock cameras, all of this information collected every time you walk into a Walmart, all of this information every time you watch a video, every time you turn on your TV, all of your biometrics, all of everything about you. They are trying to create God's eye so that they listen to you, watch you, and even know what you're thinking, what you want to go do before you even go and do it. That way they can market it to you and they can keep an eye on you. Governments, corporations, that's what these data centers are for. This has nothing to do with AI. Nothing whatsoever. And if you buy the lie that this is to keep up with China, China is the model that they're trying to represent. China already has a surveillance state. They're trying to do the same thing.